We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Is my volume on? Is my volume working? Hello, hello. Please let me know if you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. My volume is on and my sound should be on. It looks like it should be working right here. It says it's working. Oh wait, is it the green things are going. Okay, so why did I have to start the second stream? Because my volume wasn't on in the last one. And we're talking about how Trump is waging war on Islamic invaders who are interlopers. And I don't have anything against any other people in the world. However, not everybody's an American and not everybody is one of us. And there is a thing called an interloper. And an interloper is somebody who basically shows up and pretends like they're part of your thing when they're not. Not everybody is an American. Oh, good. Glad the audio is on. So I'm driving in my car, right? I was going to work and I hear this thing on the radio and it's this Muslim guy. And I guess he's been arrested or he's being deported. And he's going on and on about how he has all these rights. And he's going on and on about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and how he has, and he's not an American. He's not an American. And so it's like, I'm thinking to myself, listen, not everybody is an American. And these Muslims, right, I call them interlopers. An interloper is somebody who's involved in your stuff, who's not really invited, right? You never invited them there. Yet they're here and they're involved and they're acting like they're one of you and they're like, I'm an American. It's like, dude, you're not. Anyway, in my last video, I was saying that that America does have a responsibility towards Blacks, African Americans. Why? Because African Americans were brought here, right, to work. So it's not like they came here to kill us. They didn't know. They were brought here by white people. Like white people brought Black Africans here, right? So we do have an obligation to them. Now, there were also people living on this land in North America. So we have an obligation to get along with these people, right, that are here. But that doesn't mean that, but when they founded the U.S. government, they didn't found this for everybody in the world. They founded it for themselves, for their own people. So now you get these people coming here from Islamic countries, and then they come here, and then they act all pissed off like we're the problem, and that they have all these rights and stuff. It's like, dude, why are you even here? Why are you even here? Why don't you go do your stuff at your own country? Like, why do you have to be where we are? That's the question I have. Why do you have to be where we are? Can we just do our own thing without you being here? So this is the situation we have in America. The left is going crazy. I'm actually embarrassed that I ever sided with any of these left-wing people on anything because I'm genuinely against the war. I was against the war against Assad because Assad wasn't doing this to us, right? I had nothing against Assad because Assad wasn't doing this to us. And I don't want to have a war with Russians because I don't hate Russians. I like Russians and I like Ukrainians. And as far as the stuff with the Jews and the Arabs, it has nothing to do with me. I don't get to go live in Israel because I'm not Jewish. I have nothing to do with that. So that's a bunch of shit that has nothing to do with me. So the question is, why are they over here though? And they're over here doing riots and they're taking over the universities and all this shit. It's like, well, I know why it's happening, but the point is they're interlopers. I never wanted this. Nobody really invited them here. No Americans, no actual Americans actually want any of this shit going on in our country. And so it can't happen fast enough. And it can't happen. And there's no extent to which this, I mean, Trump, I'm glad this is finally happening. It's like none of this should have been allowed to happen in the first place. So yeah, I'm glad you can hear me. Please comment and let me know what you think. So let me see if I can find some of these things. So there's this guy, I guess there's like this Muslim guy, right? And Columbia University is getting all upset, and all these people are talking about Trump is doing this and that wrong. But let me see if I can find some of this information. So anyway, I'm listening to the radio, and it's got this Muslim guy talking about Islam and the First Amendment and how he has this right and this right and this right. And he's talking about how The Muslims are the real Christian, the real followers of Jesus, which is another lie. So look, if you want to be a Muslim, there's plenty of Muslim countries in this world for you to go live out your dream. But see, here's the thing. This is my country. This is where I live, and my forefathers gave this to me. And so you're an interloper. Nobody invited you here, and I'm sure you're a nice person, Mr. Muslim. But can you just go do your own thing? Like, why are you involving your stuff in my government? And it's not just him; it's this whole network associated with this. It's the CARE, the Center for American Islamic Relations. They're not Americans. They're not Americans. I'm sorry. You might be nice people. You can be terrific, wonderful people, but you're not an American. You don't even know what an American is. Like, who are all these people? Like the Rashid Tlaib thing, and all these the lady from Somalia and that whole thing. It's like, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Zionist stuff, but you're just the same or worse, right? It's like the Muslim shit is just as bad or worse. In fact, let me say this. At least the rabbis will tell you that they hate Jesus. They'll just say it. So that's actually more honest. The rabbis are actually more truthful than a Muslim, because a Muslim will claim that they love Jesus and they follow Jesus when actually they hate Jesus. They invented a false Jesus because they don't even know what Jesus is. They don't even know what it is. At least the Jews will tell you that they hate. That's actually more honest. I actually have more. That actually takes more integrity than a Muslim and their whole lying bullshit. Now, here's the other thing. If they want to go do that religion, they have plenty of places to go do it. They can go do it all over the. But here's the thing. Why do you have to come to Europe? Why do you have to come to England? Why do you have to come to America? This is where we live. Why are you coming here? We don't actually want any of this shit here. We don't want this. Do you want this shit here? Does anybody want this shit here with all this Muslim fuck bullshit? I don't. I don't know why anybody would want this. And I was saying in my last video, yes, we have an obligation to Black African Americans that were brought here. Of course we do. They were brought, but what are we going to do? They were brought here by the white people. So we obviously have an obligation to have some kind of harmonious relationship with them. And same with the Hispanics that were here. So, I mean, but the truth is, it's just a fact. It's just a fact that the colonial government of America, the founded America, they were British people and they were white people that founded America specifically for the white race. And they didn't found it for anybody. Like when they founded it, the only people that were considered potential citizens were free white people, free white men and women. That was it. That was the extent of their. That's all they wanted to be responsible for. They didn't want to set up this big totalitarian bullshit system. And as far as I'm concerned, the Roman system is the totalitarian system. That's what I'm saying. But a big part. But I don't want to talk about that. The big part of it is the Muslim angle. And that we have to mix with the Muslims, and the Muslims have the same rights as everybody else here, and they're Americans too. Well, you're not an American. You may be a nice person, you may be whatever, great, good for you, but you're not an American. American, not everybody is an American. Not everybody's not everyone's an American. And frankly, even like the Mexicans that come here, they don't even pretend like they're Americans. They're just here to do some work, which is actually more honest. I'm just saying, not everyone is an American. Sorry. Just like not everyone is a Malaysian or a Vietnamese. Okay. It's like there's different people in the world. Okay. So anyway, I don't know how everyone else feels about it, but that's what I'm saying. And so, anyway, so now the left is going crazy. They're having protests. They're screaming and yelling. And I'm sure you're going to have all this stuff. That's the thing. That was the danger. That's always been the danger of forming any kind of alliance with these left-wing people on Twitter, which I can't even access anymore, is you start to talk to them because you're against the war. You're against, you don't like seeing little kids blown up over in Gaza or whatever. And the next thing you know, they're like, and we got to side with the Muslims here in America at the universities. Like, no, dude, no, we don't. We don't have to do that. That has nothing to do with us. Why are they even here? Right? Here's the thing: you actually have to want to live. You actually have to want to survive as a human being and as a culture and as a people. Otherwise, you're not going to have anything. Like literally, you need to be able to build universities and build institutions that are for you and for your people and that aren't just for everyone in the world. It's kind of like a woman. Let me give you this. It's like a woman, right? If you're dating a woman, is she for you or is she for everybody, right? Does everybody get to make out with her, or is she just for you? Because if she's for everybody, she's not yours, okay? If you're dating a woman and that woman's available to all kinds of men, then she's not yours. She doesn't belong to you. She's not for you. So why would you have any loyalty to her? Why would you have any loyalty to her? If she's not for you, she doesn't belong to you. She belongs to everybody. That's the Roman system. That's the Roman system. The whore of Babylon. She belongs to everybody. That's what they're trying to say America is. They're trying to say that America belongs to everybody. Well, then it doesn't belong to me. And so I want a government that actually belongs to me and the people I'm associated with. And it's not Muslims. They're, as far as I'm concerned, yes, okay, you could have a white guy who's an American and his family's been here for 200 years and he decides he wants to follow, Islam or whatever. So, the thing is, the way the founding fathers structured this country was they said, look, we're all the same, we're the same race, we're the same people, and we don't want to have these disputes over religion. So we're gonna set up a system where we're not concerned about your religious sectarianism. This was the Masonic system. And they said, and you can be part of our group. We're going to form a government and we're going to live happily ever after. And we're going to try and make this thing work. Well, it didn't really work. It didn't really work. It was a good idea. And the reason it didn't work is because it got sabotaged and it got subverted. And I'm saying that it got subverted by the Romans. The Romans are allied with the Muslims. The Roman system is Islam. They're bringing in the Muslims, 100%. Marxism, LGBT, BLM, the whole left-wing thing. And they're also sponsoring and backing the Zionist movement, and they're backing the Ukraine stuff. So we need a divorcement from that. But ultimately, I don't want to talk about that. I talk about that in all my other videos. I just want to say that these Muslims that are coming here, it's not that you're bad. You're just an interloper. Like, we want to have our own stuff. We want to have our own stuff. We want to have our own things. We want to do stuff without you because America belongs to us. It doesn't belong to everybody in the world. Just like a woman, right? If your woman belongs to every guy at the bar, then she's not yours. And you should just leave her. Leave her alone, okay? She doesn't belong to you. So we need a government that belongs to us, and it doesn't if it belongs to us, that means it doesn't belong to everybody. It belongs to certain people. That's called loyalty. That's called loyalty. So anyway, I don't want to make this a long video. I'm going to delete the other one. I'm glad my audio is working, but anyway, Trump is going after the Islamic invader occupiers. I'll just finish off with this. They go on and on about how the Jews are invading and occupying Palestine. Okay, well, maybe they are. I don't know. That's not my thing. The thing is, you're invading and occupying my country. Muslims are invading and occupying America and Europe and England and Ireland. See, the same thing that they're saying that the Jews are doing that they don't like is the same thing they're doing to my country. And I guess, the other thing is, and the thing is, it brings in a totalitarian system of government. The whole result of all the Muslims coming into America and coming into Europe is to maintain a totalitarian system of government organized by Rome. The Roman system is totalitarianism. It's Marxism, it's LGBT, it's Islam. It's mixing all that together in a totalitarian system where everybody has to agree. And there's Jewish mafia involved. That's why the left is loaded with Jewish mafia and Antifa. They're part of that. I'm not part of that because I'm an American. I'm a free person. I'm an American. I want nothing to do with your religion, Mr. Muslim. I think you're okay. This is just my opinion. Am I allowed to think other people's religions are stupid? Am I allowed to do that? Because I think that Islam is a stupid religion, and the people might be great, but your religion's stupid, and you're not American. You're not part of my thing. See, I'm an American, and you're not. If you're a Muslim from some other country, you're not one of us. So please, I'm just asking nicely. Can you just go back to your own stuff and just leave us alone? I think that's the message here. And if you don't want to leave us alone, then we're going to have to just have Tom Homan come and grab you and force you to leave because we don't want you here. I don't want you here, at least. I know I don't. I don't want you here. And can you just go do your own thing? Be happily ever after? Just go do it somewhere else? That's my message. So anyway, have a good night. I'm glad my audio works. And short video. No, they're here because they actually worship money. That too. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of money. There's definitely a lot of money behind it. A lot of Arab oil money getting them into Europe and into America and into the banks in London and in Europe, loaded with Arab oil money. And that's where Donald Trump really, I don't think, is going far enough. Because if it were up to me, there would be no Arab oil money because the Arab oil money would all be gone because all that territory, any sector of the world, every sector of the world that we're involved in should be run by us, and all the money should go to us. I'll just finish off with you look at like Southern California. How much of the land in Southern California was given away to people from foreign countries to come live here and buy the houses and buy the land and buy the farmland and open up businesses? It's like all that could have been given to an American and should have been. All the resources that our forefathers fought for should have been given to us, not some other foreign people. So that's the distinction, and that's what I disagree. That's why I don't agree with the Roman, what I'm calling the Roman system, which is a totalitarian system where nobody owns anything and anybody can have whatever. You can just give away all your stuff to some foreign people. They can just fly in from China with $1 billion and just take all your stuff. So anyway, or from Arabia or from Iran or from wherever. But so anyway, America is not for everyone. And if it is, then I don't want to be a part of it. I only want to be a part of something that's for my people. That's it. Sorry if that hurts somebody's feelings, but that's how it is. Anyway, good night. Having a good one.